Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I would like to mention on the definition and the structure of a quantitative research. The presentations include 5 main parts. The first part is to explain what a quantitative research is. In the second part, we will discuss about the aim of a quantitative research. Follow up is the main characteristics of a quantitative research. A basic layout of a quantitative study will be presented in the fourth part. Finally, we have advantages and limitations of using quantitative methods. According to BIBE 2010, quantitative methods use equitable measuring tools to analyze the treated results withdraws from questionnaires, surveys. The quantitative research, therefore, concentrates on applying its generalization characteristics to a group of people or explaining a certain phenomenon through collected numerical data. The aim of a quantitative research is to define the connection between variables in a descriptive research, or to find out the causality of investigated subjects before and after a treatment in an experimental research. Coming up next is the key characteristics of a quantitative research. BIBE 2010 and David 2008 stated that the data is collected through structural computer tools and is often expressed in numerical and statistical terms. The research question is of clear and precise definition. All the factors of the study should be well prepared prior to gathering data. The overall objective is to clarify features, count them, and construct statistical models to explain what is observed. Next, we will talk about a basic layout of a quantitative research. Black 1999 states that the introduction of a quantitative research is often written in present tense and has to provide main information such as the research problems, literature and theoretical framework. Keep in mind that the research question is clear and precise. Review the published studies which are in the same field of your research to find the research gaps out and the way to fill these gaps. Finally, make the theoretical framework out. Now, in the methodology part, thoroughly presenting full details is needed for the readers to capture the approaches used to collect the results. The reader needs to know the size and the type of the sample, how the data is collected, and the data analysis process. For example, where did the data come from? How strong is the data? What approaches and limitations when collecting the data? What is the process of data analyzing? Also, the collection methods should be presented in the past tense. The discussion part follows the methodology part. The discussions should stick to the findings and be placed under the context of theoretical framework. The researcher specifies any trends appearing in the analysis and interprets them. Limitations and unavoidable biases have to be addressed in this part and details why they do not affect the validity of your results. The last part of the study is conclusion. The researcher summarizes the findings and concludes the applications of the studies and presents a final comments and assessment of the study. Note that do not give any numerical information when summarizing the topic, but identify new things you have learned after the study. Also, mark out the limitations of the studies and note the need for a future research linked to the study's limitations. Finally, we will talk about the benefits and limitations of using quantitative methods. Nanty 2009 claimed that a study using a quantitative methods can have a wider investigation area, such as a larger group of subjects and results in objective and precise results. Personal bias can be avoided by structural computer research tools and collecting objective opinions from participants. In contrast, there are some limitations we have to consider when conducting a quantitative research. For instance, the collected data is much narrower and superficial. And it may also detail less information on motivations and attitudes. The research methods are inflexible. The preset answer and questions made by the researchers can lead to structural bias and present the objective point of view of the participants. That's all my representation. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Okay, that's great. And now, how is the data of a quantitative research collected?
Barbie 2010 pointed out that the data is collected through both questionnaires, surveys, and pre-existing statistical data.
Okay. What is the aim in conducting a quantitative research?
Bryan 2011 stated that the goal of a quantitative research is to determine the connection between an independent variable and another dependent or outcome variable within a population.
Great. What is the difference between a descriptive and an experimental research?
Nanty 2009 described that the descriptive structure often quantifies subjects wants and aims to find the connection between variables. Meanwhile, the experimental research compares subjects before and after a treating abroad to investigate the causality.
What does a researcher do with a research question in terms of validity?
Mujis 2010 noted that the researcher has to prepare the research question carefully and make sure they are all objective questions prior to gathering data.
Okay. What are the forms of the data in a research?
Hector 2000 defined that the data are in form of numbers and statistics, often arranged in tables, figures, charts, and other non-textual form.
What are unanticipated events which may occur in a research?
According to Hopkins 2000, unanticipated problems are unexpected problems which may occur when conducting the investigation and may affect the investigated results, such as disasters, accidents, and so forth.
Great. What kinds of graphic representations should be presented?
McNabb 2008 defined that Numerical and statistical data is often addressed in tables, charts, figures, and other non-textual forms.
Why does a quantitative study apply the present tense and the third person's point of view normally?
Boston 2011 defined that the present tense and the third person's viewpoint are preferred in the introduction section to present facts, principles, literature under an objective and trustworthy viewpoint.
Why is the literature review important?
Gay and Peter 2003 said that reviewing the literature is important because it provides the information of subjects and is significant to your study. Also, we can find out the research gaps and the way to fill these gaps or clarify existing knowledge through reviewing the literature.
Why should limitations be presented in a research?
Shaft 2008 suggested that there are no perfect collected data set or research methods, so we should describe on any limitations and explain why they do not affect the validity of your research.
Great. You've done a good job today.